Hello, my name is Stephen Grundy and today I'm going to be looking at Adobe Connect. As you can see, when you come into Adobe Connect, the screen is made up of a number of pods. Here we have the Share pod, a Video pod, attendees and an area for chat. The screen can be changed using a number of templates. On the right of the screen you can see we're currently in the Sharing template. You can change this to Discussion, in which case you get a poll pod come up and a discussion notes pod come up, or collaboration, where in this case there is a whiteboard being shared and a space for files. If we go back to the sharing template, we'll start with the video pod. The video pod is where the images of the participants are displayed. This pod can be made bigger or smaller, as can the others. This is especially useful in discussion activities where eye contact is more important. Adobe Connect also allows you to reduce the quality of the video. This is done through Meeting, Preferences and Video. It can be useful where internet bandwidth is a problem to just lower the quality of the video. The next pod is the Attendees pod. Here the names of the students in the room are displayed. You can see they are grouped by host, presenters and participants. The next tab is the breakout room view. In this area, the host can split the meeting into separate breakout rooms. This is especially useful if you would like students to work in pairs or smaller groups. The final tab is the status view. Here, the host gets an idea of whether students would like to ask questions by raising their hand, if they agree with the topic, disagree, or if they're away from their machine. The next pod is the chat pod. Here, the host can send messages to the whole room. They can also send private messages to individual students. The final pod on this template is the share pod. Here, the host has an opportunity to share their screen with the participants. They can choose to share either the whole desktop, individual applications, or specific windows. When sharing a screen, the host has the option to allow users to control the shared screen. This is especially useful in a classroom environment where users or students can submit their answers for the class to view. Here we can see a student take over the screen and provide an answer. This can then be discussed by the rest of the group. The student does not need to have the program, in this case Active Inspire, available on their machine. If we now move to the discussion template, we can look at the poll pod. This is especially useful if you would like to ask students questions during your instruction. These questions can be either multiple choice, multiple answers, or short answers. If we look at multiple choice, the teacher is able to input a question. Then they can provide a number of answers. When they open the poll, students can then vote. These results can be broadcast or kept private. And the teacher is able to see who has answered what. This function is especially useful for checking levels of understanding in the room, and, where necessary, the teacher is able to respond to any emerging needs. Adobe Connect uses a feature called persistent meeting rooms. This means that when a class finishes, the teacher can simply pick up in the same URL and use the classroom again. The benefit here is that any chat or discussion notes are saved and available for the future class. This can be extremely useful on a course where, for example, vocabulary can be reviewed in subsequent classes. Finally, if we take a look at the main user interface for Adobe Connect, we can get an idea of a few of the additional features this program offers. Here you can see the meetings I have available. As stated earlier, these meetings remain open, so that the same URL can be used to access the same classroom. Another useful feature is that Adobe Connect also allows you to record classes. Here you can see for this Pre-Intermediate 1 class, I have a recording. This recording is roughly 1 hour long and it can be emailed to students. They simply are given a URL of the recording and, if you like, a password. The record function allows students to rewatch the class. This can be useful for students who miss the class or simply would like to go back and watch the material again. The benefit of this in Adobe Connect is that they still have access to the pods. They can still enlarge specific pods, or if they would like, look through the chat function or any of the polls which were used. In conclusion, I feel that Adobe Connect is a powerful video conferencing tool. It has a number of features that really make it work in a classroom environment. The polls feature allows you to get real-time feedback on the students. Students are able to control the screen and therefore interact with the materials. It is easy for them to use, and you can also record classes. On the downside, it does have problems with internet bandwidth, but provided that students are set up correctly and offered support, this isn't a problem. Thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation on Adobe Connect.